Did you know that Brazil is home to some of the most terrifying haunted locations in the world? A country known for its breathtaking landscapes, carnival celebrations, and rich culture? But beneath the surface lies something far more sinister. In small towns and bustling cities, behind grand mansions and abandoned buildings, whispers of the dead echo through the night. Stories of restless spirits, ghostly apparitions, and unspeakable horrors have been passed down for generations. But here's a question for you. Do you believe in ghosts? Because by the time you finish this video, you just might. Tonight, we take you on a journey through Brazil's most fearsome haunted places, revealing terrifying encounters and disturbing truths. Stay with me until the end, if you dare. Our first stop takes us to the outskirts of São Paulo, to a crumbling monument to suffering known as Casa da Fazenda. Built in the 19th century, this once grand mansion was said to be a place of unimaginable cruelty. Local legend claims it was constructed on sacred indigenous burial grounds. Big mistake, right? You don't mess with ancient burial grounds. During the 1800s, Casa da Fazenda was a working coffee plantation that relied on the forced labor of enslaved people. People who lived nearby, they'd hear screams coming from the house at night. Not just your average screams either. These were cries of pure agony, echoing through the fields. Today, Casa da Fazenda stands abandoned, but the horrors of its past continue to haunt its decaying halls. Visitors whisper of shadowy figures lurking in the shadows, darting just out of sight. They talk about an oppressive feeling of dread, like an unseen weight pressing down on their chests. Some claim to hear soft whispers in their ears, pleading for help. Imagine just walking through these derelict rooms and you hear a disembodied voice saying, "Help me." Gives me chills just thinking about it. Are these the tormented souls of those who suffered and died within this house, unable to find peace? Or is there something even more sinister at play here? Casa da Fazenda is a chilling reminder that some places are forever marked by the darkness of their past. From the chilling countryside, we venture deep into the heart of the Amazon rainforest to Manaus, home to the magnificent Teatro Amazonas. Now this place is gorgeous. We're talking ornate architecture, plush velvet seats, glittering chandeliers. It's like something out of a fairy tale. But even fairy tales have their villains, and in this story the villain takes the stage. They say that every theater has its ghost, and Teatro Amazonas is no exception. The star of our show? Maria, a young actress whose life was tragically cut short during a performance. Picture this. It's the late 1800s, the theater is packed, anticipation hangs heavy in the air. Maria, a rising star, takes the stage, but as the curtain falls on the final act, tragedy strikes. Maria collapses, dead from what is later revealed to be poisoning. The whispers started immediately. Jealousy, they said, a rival actress driven to the unthinkable. Ever since that fateful night, her presence has been felt within the theater walls. Actors, stagehands, even audience members have reported seeing her apparition, often on stage as if frozen in a perpetual encore of her final performance. Some claim to hear the faint sounds of opera music late at night, even when the theater is empty. And then there are the seats. Seats that move, seemingly on their own, as if occupied by an unseen audience. Teatro Amazonas stands as a testament to the enduring power of both beauty and tragedy, a place where the show, it seems, must go on even in the afterlife. The weeping walls of Colégio das Irmãs sound eerie silence punctuated by the sound of a young girl crying. Our next destination takes us to the sun-drenched state of Bahia, but don't be fooled by the cheerful facade. We're here to investigate Colégio das Irmãs, a former convent school that's said to be crawling with paranormal activity. The legend that really chills the blood at Colégio das Irmãs is that of Sister Beatrice, a young nun who vanished without a trace. One minute she was there, the next, poof, gone. Rumors swirled around the convent like incense smoke. Some whispered that she had run off, seeking a life outside the cloistered walls. Others claimed she had been murdered, her body hidden within the convent itself. The most disturbing rumor? That Sister Beatrice had been buried alive within the walls, a victim of some horrible misunderstanding or even worse, a deliberate act of cruelty. Whatever happened to Sister Beatrice, her presence is said to linger in the halls of Colegio das Irmas. Students and teachers alike have reported experiencing unexplained phenomena. Doors slamming shut on their own, trapping people inside classrooms, disembodied footsteps echoing through the empty corridors, and a feeling of being watched, followed by an unseen presence. Colegio das Irmas stands as a haunting reminder that some secrets refuse to stay buried, and some souls, even in death, cry out for justice. The Unseen Eyes of Chacara do Chiu. From the hallowed halls of a former convent, we find ourselves in the heart of Rio de Janeiro, standing before Chacara do Chiu, a stunning mansion-turned-art museum. This architectural gem was once home to a wealthy businessman, a man who seemingly vanished into thin air one fateful night in the 1960s. Poof! Gone. And just like that, this haven of art and luxury became a breeding ground for speculation and fear. Some believe he was murdered within the mansion walls, his life brutally cut short amidst the priceless artwork he so cherished. Whatever happened that night, the businessman's presence is said to linger, his spirit unable or unwilling to leave the beauty and grandeur he left behind. Security guards tasked with protecting the mansion's treasures after hours have reported some truly unsettling experiences. They tell stories of paintings mysteriously being pulled off the walls, canvases askew as if an invisible hand had ripped them from their place. Imagine walking these halls surrounded by priceless art and suddenly a painting crashes to the floor behind you. Then there are the cold spots. You know the feeling, a sudden chill that cuts through you even on the hottest day. Some say it's the businessman, his spectral chill following visitors as they wander through his former home. But the most unsettling stories are those of a shadowy figure, often seen standing by the window, staring out into the night. Chacara do Chiu stands as a haunting reminder that even in the most beautiful of places, darkness can lurk, and some mysteries are destined to remain unsolved. The unforgiving spirits of Hotel do Castelao. Our final destination takes us to a place where even the bravest souls tread lightly. We're talking about Hotel do Castelao, a place where the line between history and horror blurs into a terrifying spectacle. Before it was a hotel, it was a prison, and not just any prison but one known for its brutality. Guests have reported hearing screams coming from the basement where prisoners were once held in solitary confinement. Doors lock and unlock on their own, trapping guests inside rooms. And then there's the woman in the blood-stained dress. Numerous guests have reported seeing her, a spectral figure in a torn white dress, wandering the halls. She never speaks, but her sorrowful eyes and the bloodstains on her dress tell a story of unimaginable pain and suffering. But the most terrifying story involves room 308. Legend has it that a guest staying in that room woke up in the dead of night to find a man standing over his bed. This figure had hollow, black eyes that seemed to stare right through him. The guest claimed that the moment he turned on the light, the figure vanished. But the terror didn't end there. Scratched into the wall behind him as if carved by unseen claws were 3 words: "You're next." Hotel do Castelao is a place where the horrors of the past refuse to stay buried. It's a stark reminder that some places are so steeped in tragedy, so marked by suffering, that even the bravest souls might think twice before entering. Outro. Do you dare to believe? Brazil's haunted past is as rich as it is terrifying. From the ghostly cries at the Jolma building to the unseen hands that push visitors at the Petropolis Imperial Museum, and the dark presence lurking in the shadows of Hotel do Castelao, each of these places holds stories that defy logic and chill the soul. We started this journey by asking a simple question: are these hauntings real, or just myths passed down through generations? But after hearing the terrifying encounters of those who dared to explore these locations, one thing is certain: Brazil's spirits refuse to be forgotten. What do you believe? Now I ask you, the viewer, Do you think these haunted places hold real supernatural energy, or are these tales merely tricks of the mind fueled by fear and legend? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and if you've ever had a paranormal experience, I'd love to hear your story. Before you go, sound a suspenseful crescendo that fades into a heartbeat-like rhythm. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Brazil's most haunted places, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to Mind of Nightmares. I'll be back with more chilling stories, spine-tingling mysteries, and unbelievable encounters that will keep you up at night. Gap 2S. The Cursed Forest of Mata de São João. Deep within the heart of Bahia lies the Mata de São João, a forest shrouded in mystery and steeped in lore. This lush green expanse is not just a haven for wildlife, but also a realm where the living dare not tread after dusk. Legend has it that the forest is cursed, a place where the spirits of the past roam freely. Locals whisper of a time when the forest served as a ground for dark rituals and forbidden practices. The echoes of those sinister ceremonies still linger in the air, and some say they can hear the faint chanting of ancient incantations carried by the wind. But the most chilling tales come from those who have ventured into the forest and lived to tell the tale. Many report encountering ghostly apparitions, figures dressed in old tattered clothing, their eyes void of life, wandering aimlessly among the trees. Others speak of an overwhelming sense of dread, a feeling of being watched by unseen eyes that follow their every move. One particularly harrowing account comes from a local hunter who claimed he saw a spectral figure emerge from the shadows only to disappear as suddenly as it had appeared. His description of the figure, a woman with long flowing hair and a face twisted in anguish, matches the stories of a spirit known as the Morning Lady, said to be a victim of a long-forgotten tragedy. And then there are the lights. Strange floating orbs that appear without warning, leading those who follow them deeper into the forest only to vanish and leave the bewildered traveler lost and disoriented. These will-o'-the-wisps, as they are called, are believed to be the souls of those who perished within the forest, forever trapped in a liminal space between life and death. Whether you believe in the supernatural or not, there's no denying that the Mata de São João holds a dark allure. Its beauty is marred by an eerie atmosphere, a palpable tension that even the bravest souls cannot ignore. So if you ever find yourself in Bahia and the forest calls to you, remember the stories, remember the warnings, for in the Mata de São João, the line between the living and the dead is perilously thin. Outro: The Cursed Forest of Mata de São João. The next time you hear the rustling of leaves or see a flicker of light in the distance, ask yourself, could it be one of the lost souls of the Mata de São João? Dare you venture into the unknown? If you enjoyed this spine-chilling exploration of the cursed forest of Mata de São João, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more unsettling tales from Mind of Nightmares. Until then, sleep tight, if you can. Scene 9. The Haunted Lighthouse of Ilha do Mel. Off the coast of Paraná lies Ilha do Mel, an island known for its breathtaking beauty and serene landscapes. Yet amidst this paradise stands a structure that has long been a source of fear and fascination: the haunted lighthouse. Erected in the 19th century, the lighthouse was intended to guide ships safely through the treacherous waters. However, its history is marred by mysterious disappearances and ghostly apparitions that have turned it into a beacon of dread. Local legends tell of sailors who vanished without a trace, their last known locations eerily close to the lighthouse. Many visitors to Ilha do Mel have reported seeing spectral figures near the lighthouse, especially on foggy nights. These ghostly apparitions are often described as shadowy silhouettes, flickering in and out of existence. Some claim to have heard disembodied voices calling out from the lighthouse, their words indistinguishable but filled with an unmistakable sense of urgency and despair. One particularly eerie tale involves a group of tourists who decided to explore the lighthouse during a storm. As they ascended the spiral staircase, they heard what sounded like footsteps following them, though no one else was there. When they reached the top, they found an old, rusted lantern swinging from the ceiling, casting eerie shadows on the walls. Suddenly the lantern stopped, and the room grew cold. The tourists fled in terror, vowing never to return. Another chilling account comes from a fisherman who often anchored near the island. He reported seeing a figure standing at the top of the lighthouse, staring out to sea. As he approached, the figure vanished, leaving behind only the faint scent of seaweed and salt water. The fisherman swore he would never venture near the lighthouse again. And then there are the lights. Strange, flickering lights that appear in the windows of the lighthouse, even when it is supposed to be abandoned. These lights are said to lure unsuspecting travelers closer, only to vanish and leave them disoriented and lost. Some believe these are the spirits of the sailors who perished at sea, forever trying to find their way home. Whether you believe in the supernatural or not, the haunted lighthouse of Ilha do Mel stands as a chilling reminder of the island's darker side. Its imposing structure, combined with the eerie tales that surround it, makes it a place that even the bravest souls approach with caution. So if you ever find yourself on Ilha do Mel and the lighthouse calls to you, remember the stories, remember the warnings. For in the shadow of the lighthouse, the line between the living and the dead is perilously thin. Outro: the haunted lighthouse of Ilha do Mel. The next time you see a flicker of light or hear a distant foghorn, ask yourself, could it be one of the lost souls of Ilha do Mel? Dare you venture into the unknown? If you enjoyed this spine-chilling exploration of the haunted lighthouse of Ilha do Mel, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more unsettling tales from Mind of Nightmares. Nestled in the misty mountains of Sao Paulo, lies the historic village of Paranapiacaba, a place where time seems to stand still. Famous for its picturesque landscapes and rich history, Paranapiacaba also harbors a darker, more unsettling secret: the ghostly train. Built in the late 19th century, Paranapiacaba was a crucial hub for the British-owned Sao Paulo Railway Company. The village thrived, its train station bustling with activity. Yet, amid the prosperity, a series of unexplained accidents and mysterious disappearances began to weave a tapestry of fear and sorrow. Local folklore tells of a spectral train that roams the tracks at night, an apparition from a bygone era. Witnesses claim to have seen an old steam locomotive, its carriages bathed in an otherworldly glow, thundering down the tracks before vanishing into thin air. One chilling account involves a night watchman who was patrolling the station. As he walked along the deserted platform, he heard the unmistakable sound of an approaching train. The ground trembled beneath his feet, and a cold wind swept through the station. Yet when he looked, there was no train to be seen, only the echoing whistle and the distant rumble, fading into the night. Another eerie tale comes from a group of friends who decided to explore the abandoned tracks. As they ventured deeper into the forest, they heard the clattering of wheels on rails and the mournful whistle of a train. Suddenly the ghostly locomotive appeared before them, its windows filled with spectral faces staring into the void. Terrified, the friends fled, never daring to return. Then, there are the stories of the villagers who hear the ghostly train's whistle in the dead of night. They speak of a spectral conductor, seen standing at the edge of the platform, his eyes hollow and his face etched with sorrow. Some believe he is searching for the souls of those who perished in the train's tragic accidents, forever bound to the tracks of Paranapiacaba. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, the legend of the ghostly train of Paranapiacaba persists, a haunting reminder of the village's eerie past. Its spectral presence, combined with the chilling tales that surround it, makes Paranapiacaba a place where the line between the living and the dead is blurred. So, if you ever find yourself in the misty mountains of Sao Paulo, and you hear the distant whistle of a train, remember the stories, remember the warnings, for in Paranapiacaba, the ghostly train still roams, a phantom of the past, forever haunting the present. Outro: the ghostly train of Paranapiacaba. The next time you hear the distant rumble of a train or the echoing blast of a whistle, ask yourself, could it be the ghostly train of Paranapiacaba? Dare you venture into the unknown? If you enjoyed this spine-chilling exploration of the ghostly train of Paranapiacaba, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more unsettling tales from Mind of Nightmares. Until then, sleep tight, if you can. Sound. The eerie whispers return, then cut to silence.